sir.
For the loot, which is never there, Mike.
I wondered where he was going with that.
I have a better one. Why did I go to Afghanistan? Because they sent me there.
Yeah, that's right.
You didn't have a
the powerful
choice.
wizard sent you there.
The army was your game master.
That's right.
Was it Philidor? Did Philidor do that to you, Greg?
No.
What's the downside to gaming? Okay, there's the social stigma, of course.
Well, yeah, you have to accept the fact that you're probably going to be an outcast to a large portion of society.
Right, and people are going to make assumptions.
Yeah, that part of society, big as it may be, is shrinking a little bit all the time.
Right.
Well, I really think that people like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and people like that have kind of given us, not to compare ourselves necessarily to those guys in terms of brain power.
I'm right
we live
there
in
with
the
them.
age of the geek.
I'm going to write
Yeah.
a check tomorrow based
But
on that statement.
I do think people realize now that nerds, and I'm doing air quotes here,
Run the
nerds,
world.
Yeah, we run the world.
Well, yeah.
As to that, I recommend everybody go and watch the movie Idiocracy.
Yeah.
As popular culture has become more socially acceptable, it's still not as socially acceptable as most other things, in society.
We've overlooked one very, very big negative.
Okay.
The almighty dollar.
The price. It's an expensive habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very.
It's not as
Especially
expensive
if you
as some.
Play
Well, it's not like
Warhammer.
crack,
No.
but it's. Sure, golf. That's an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
Sure,
You want good clubs and tee times,
Yeah.
But I would never go to a golf course, not on purpose. At least not for the
'Cause that's
purpose of playing
outside.
golf.
Mark, I used to say the same thing, and it's actually it's
love it.
enjoyable.
They generally
Love
have
it.
really good beer at the bar.
I spend
Yeah.
thousands and thousands on golf every year.
Got clubs for sale.
And I'll say a good set of clubs.
Much like gaming, though, you just can't take golf seriously. That's how I get enjoyment out of golf. Much like gaming, if you take it too seriously, then
I mean, the joy
Yeah.
is always getting Dave drunk enough to where he will attempt a Happy Gilmore and throw his back out.
Well, I think golf and
Which is
gaming,
about the 8th hole.
golf and gaming go hand in hand. I could never walk out on a golf course and play by myself. Mike
Go
wrote
ahead.
down a question mark.
yeah. What were we talking about?
He did that one on purpose.
Yeah.
Another down thing that I personally am experiencing is time away from family. I mean, yes, my wife is very understanding about my dorkiness.
Pro gaming.
She's very she's not necessarily pro gaming, but she's pro gamer.
Yeah.
She's
She likes all of you guys.
She's
and she knows-
codependent.
and she knows that
And it would be totally different. Sorry, it would be totally different if you were hanging out with us and we were just getting drunk.
exactly,
Yes.
and that's exactly right. She knows that wherever I'm going, I'm not going to be drinking, or for the most part, and then,
Except for the
There's
time
gonna
that
be
we
no
are.
other
except for
women
where
here.
we are.
Drinking to excess.
Gambling
and-
money away.
and the fact that she trusts all of you guys. She trusts me, but she also trusts all of you guys, and that's a big thing. But that being said, it's still 2 nights
Most
a
of
week
us.
that I'm not at home. And then with me, my work schedule, I work every weekend, so I'm not home then. So that gives me 2 nights at home out of 7. And so that personally affects me where, if you have a gaming group like we do where we play multiple days a week.
Many a girlfriend has broken up or wife has broken up.
Bros before hoes is what you're saying?
Well, you have to make that decision.
There's a story we might be able to get some confirmation on.
All right, so right before I got married, my wife had a serious problem with me going to the Monday night game and got really upset about it a couple nights until she started to game. And now she wants me to start a game at home and try to get other people to come over and play so that she can play now too. And
Mark, you're going to do this?
Nope.
no, I hadn't brought it up to Mark yet because Mark and my wife.
We barely tolerate each other.
There we go. That's about right. Or were you bringing up the other thing, that girl that I met at Twilight before?
No, that's not. I was talking about before we met these guys. You were going out with a girl.
Oh, yeah, I broke up with a girl because she kept trying to subvert me from my game night.
Yes.
Wow.
You got to go, babe.
Hold it.
Greg
What-
chose West End Star Wars over getting laid in high school.
Well,
Yeah, I was
Star
gonna say,
Wars.
that's what I was going to ask.
you know.
What exactly was she trying to subvert you with?
Well, actually, this wasn't Amy. This was the one after that, right?
Because if this was a piece of tail, I'm going to have to call foul.
Oh, no.
A kind of in almost the similar vein, Sean, your house completely shuts down on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. It's mandatory.
Which, by the way, is amazing.
You like that?
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Sean.
You'd never know anybody was upstairs.
How many kids are upstairs?
He's got like 13 kids up there or something.
Tonight, there's 3 children upstairs and 1 girlfriend.
and they're not, and we're not talking about like grown kids. We're talking about there's some little
9-year-olds.
ones. Yeah,
And,
so
oh, wait, no, there's 4 kids here tonight. Yeah.
The twins
a
are here.
6-year-old,
And the
2
girls.
9-year-olds, and a 13-year-old.
He's got them scared into
we
such silence
never
we don't know
repeat
how many
from
there are.
ever.
Yeah,
Two
man runs a
boys,
tight
two
ship. I
girls.
respect it.
Yeah.
And it's what was it? They wanted to do something, and you said not on Wednesday night. We're not.
No. Yep. House
Well,
is
he's also
locked down.
bribing with movies and pizza, I think.
Hey,
too.
well, you know what?
Yeah.
You got to. Sometimes you got to do that.
Sometimes the carrot, sometimes
That
the
or,
stick.
Yeah, it's that or a stick. I
Yeah.
mean,
Bat. Only Greg would say bat.
Tonight it was actually Chinese.
One of our other listeners and good friends, Anna Meyer, said to us that gaming has forced her to study a whole range of topics in order to better understand how to build a world. History,
Wow.
economics, religion,
Oh, yeah.
psychology, various forms of other technology, things like that. You know, that's something that was. I appreciate her saying that because that's not something I really thought about. We've done world building before, you know, but you do need to know. I mean, Mike, you've done human migration charts and things like
Yeah.
that for Greyhawk, you know, and it's stuff that if it wasn't for gaming, maybe you wouldn't have done anything close to that. I know way more about Star Wars than I need to because of gaming, because I want to make my Star Wars game feel as authentic as possible.
Well, after I started gaming, I definitely started looking at subjects differently. Like if I took a subject on geography or environmental
Erosion. You never thought about erosion the
I would
same
be
way.
thinking, how would I apply this to gaming?
Yeah. I do the same thing with psychology.
Hey,
Right.
you know, Mike just said something really profound, and we're going to glaze over it, so I'm going to back it up. You begin to think in terms of how does the real world apply
Yeah.
to my game for all kinds of things.
Yeah, I mentioned the fact that I'm kind of playing with writing a novel and getting caught up in world building. It's a sci-fi thing. So I get caught up in like, okay, well, how did this alien evolve? What kind of creature did it evolve from? You know, it's like, why does it have 3 tusks coming out of the top of its head, or whatever the hell?
Yeah, that's more hard sci-fi than.
Well,
just like-
well, I want it to make sense. I mean, it's like some of those,
sometimes you got to take a leap of faith, sir. Otherwise, you never get out of the batter's box.
like a Twi'lek, right? Twi'lek. What's got the 2 tails hanging off its head?
Two foam rubber dicks hanging off their head.
Right. Why do they have 2 foam rubber dicks flying off the top of their head? So what evolutionary process do they go through where that happened?
But that's how they also communicate with those.
What?
yes,
Yeah.
alternate means of communication.
But listen to the guy who thinks he knows everything about Star Wars. Is now
I know
No,
that they use
Mark,
alternate
Mark
communication.
absolutely knows this, and in fact, he can explain to you why.
I don't want to hear it.
Don't tempt him.
Don't tell me about your homebrew.
It's a novel.
Talking about what gaming has done for us, first and foremost, it keeps us together.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, and it solidifies our friendship. You know, we do things together outside of gaming, but it all boils down to the fact that we're a gaming group, and it always will be. We've been gaming since, a lot of us have been gaming since we were children. Not everybody. Not everybody in an extended gaming group started when they were kids. Lucky started late, you know, as an adult. But you don't find that a whole lot anymore, where people are starting as adults. It's this, 30-something age group that is slowly, getting older. That's who are gamers. Any other thoughts?
Well, I can say for the most part, you get out of it much more than what you put in. But just like doing the podcast or creating a character for a game or coming in. Whenever I bring Vic to the Sea Princes, that's one small part, but the whole of the campaign is so much more. You get so much out of it. It totally outweighs the potential negatives. And any negatives that you would get out of gaming, that's probably more to do with your personality, and those negatives are going to show in whatever venue to
Before we go, I want to say some thanks to the people who posted comments and things like that.
Very much.
Brian Wells, James Worley, Anna Meyer, Alex Swingle, Devin Kelly, Jack Palmer, Rich Rogers, and Ebrion, and of course Q-Man. Thank you all, and I think we're done.
Bye.
Good night.
Man, I got some Chinese yesterday. There was a sweet sour pork. I swear there was no pork in it. I had deep fried fluff with no pork in it.
Follow us on Twitter. We're at Gamers Table.
Like us on Facebook.
Listen to us on iTunes.
Or on Stitcher.
Got a question you want read during the show? Send us an email at feedback@gamerstable.com or leave us a voicemail at 559-546-1231. Check out some other great shows affiliated with us at rpgcrosstalk.webs.com.
You have been listening to Gamers Table, registered trademark, Sci-Tangent Productions. Visit us at gamerstable.com. Products and intellectual properties discussed during this podcast are the properties of their respective owners. This production is for entertainment purposes only. Any commercial broadcast is prohibited without written consent from Sci-Tangent Productions.